If I knew that if I stop eating meat, the world is gonna stop eating meat and the animals will stop dying, I would stop eating it. But but the thing is that if I stop, that's a convenient thing for me.
Yeah.
It's convenient to eat meat because it's healthy and it's good. But no, that is not gonna change anything.
Why not?
Hola.
Let's go.
I'm from Mexico.
You're from Mexico?
Yeah,
Nice.
Viva Mexico.
Nice.
What is this for?
Oh, you'll understand. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and midway, can you come a bit closer so that the microphone
Yep.
picks you up? Yeah. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and midway you're going to realize what this is for. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Would you rather be a cat or a dog?
A dog.
A dog.
cat.
A cat, a dog, a dog.
Dog.
2 dog people and a cat person. Love it. Okay. Would you rather be able to talk to animals temporarily or temporarily take one of their enhanced abilities or senses?
Talk to them.
Take one in hands.
Okay.
But for dogs only or for animals in
For
general?
any animal.
Yeah, I will take the abilities.
Take the enhanced abilities. Can I ask why?
Because they are amazing. There are just too many abilities that we don't even know about. Like the vision of an eagle is amazing.
Okay. And how about you? Why would you want to talk to animals?
I don't know. It's like having a conversation with an animal. It must be interesting.
Okay. And you?
Yeah, it will be like awesome to know how the animals think.
I love it. Okay. Would you rather have the intelligence of a dog or of a pig?
Or of a what?
Pig.
Pig?
Pig.
Of a dog.
Of a dog.
Of a dog, I think.
Of a dog.
Would you be surprised if I told you that pigs are more intelligent than dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's this thing that pigs do. Let me just give you an example. There's this thing that pigs do. You'll see it in sanctuaries. What they do is they go and they pick flowers from a field and they put them in a certain corner where they live, just because they find it beautiful and they enjoy it.
La madre.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's something interesting, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather be a well-fed farm animal, well-fed, but whose life is full of exploitation, and your life is cut severely short whenever the farm says you're no longer worthy, or a wild animal, but you're mostly starving, but you get to live how you want and as long as you want?
That's a polemic.
That's a
polemic
difficult question. Yeah.
I
yeah.
think
That's
to be a. What's the second option?
So it's either a well-fed farm animal
Uh-huh.
that's going to go to the slaughterhouse when the farmer says you need to go to the slaughterhouse and you're fully exploited, or wild animal, but you're free, but you might be starving a lot of the time, right? You only until you find food. When you find food, you don't know any of
I
it.
think I will be a wild animal.
Yeah, you value freedom over safety. That's what I'm understanding. How about
Yeah.
you?
Oh, it's a random question because both of them you can die the next day.
Of course.
Or
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's a difference in perspective, right? From all of it.
Well, yeah.
Perception. Sorry.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Both of them. It depends on the day.
Okay, it depends on what about today? Let's say today.
Today I would rather be well fed and sleep.
Okay. Even if, let's say, later you might go to a slaughterhouse.
Today,
Yeah, you never know.
well then freedom.
Yeah, see, that's the point.
that's the thing.
And how about you?
I don't know, but I think I'm gonna choose well-fed.
Okay. Also because you just value.
Even if I don't know that I could die tomorrow, at least each day I'm gonna be fed.
Also exploited at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And my final question is: if you could be a farm animal in today's world, which one would you be? A cow for dairy, a cow for meat, a pig, or a chicken?
I think
Farm
a chicken.
animal.
Do I have to pick one out of them?
Yeah,
A cow.
one out of them.
Because I'd rather be a goat.
A goat. A goat for milk.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I won't get killed.
You won't get. Oh, goat.
Goats get killed.
Yeah. So, do you know what happens in dairy production, by the way, and why they get killed? Also, it's the same for cows. So, do you know why animals produce milk?
Why?
To feed their babies, right?
Yeah,
It's just the
they're
same as
mammals.
mammals. All mammals produce milk. So, because they can't produce enough milk for human consumption and baby consumption alike, they take away the baby, right? And if the baby is a male, in all of these industries, they're useless to them. So they go to the slaughterhouse, they kill them, usually in the first weeks, months, depends on the farm, depends on the policy. That's kind of what's happening. So, which one would you rather be knowing this?
Well, maybe.
I think a chicken.
A chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. They live a couple of months. They don't get to live even a year.
Yeah.
A cow, I think.
A cow for meat or for dairy?
For milk.
For milk, yeah. So you don't mind if your baby would be taken. Oh, you're a male, right? So you just go to the slaughterhouse on the first day of born. You wouldn't really survive too much. Yeah. Okay, so I guess you kind of realize what the topic of this
No.
discussion is, right? No. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I'm trying to have conversations, more constructive conversations, positive conversations with people, and to try to show them the perspective of animals. That's why I ask you all of these questions, to try to get you to think from the perspective of animals. Do you guys consume animal products?
Yeah.
Okay, and I think you said that you would rather talk to animals, right?
Yeah.
And you also said you would rather talk to animals.
Yeah.
Can I ask, if you could talk to animals, what would you say to the animals that you're consuming, to the animals before consuming them, before they go into the slaughterhouse for you?
I don't know. I think I wouldn't talk to them about that. I wouldn't talk about that because I will feel bad.
Okay.
But I don't know. I
Yeah.
love meat.
But do you think we need to consume animal products to survive?
Uh,
I mean,
Need.
it's-
Need.
need? No.
No, no. So it's a
But
choice, isn't it?
It's a
I-
choice.
I think we need in a short amount. I think nowadays we consume way too much meat. I think we are designing the evolve to also eat way more vegetables than we do because cheap prices are really low.
Yeah.
It's affordable for everyone. But also it's been a part of our diet since a long time ago. So I think we need a little bit.
Yeah. So there's this society called the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, which is the largest organization of nutritionists in the world. It's got like 1,000 members or something along those lines, and they're not a vegan organization by whatsoever, right? And what they say is that a vegan diet is suitable for all ages and stages of life, a well-planned vegan diet. So that means that theoretically we don't need to consume animal products to survive and thrive, right? So given that we don't need, you said that we don't need, and you were on the doubt, but let's say that the science says that we don't need it. We can just, whatever we lack, we can supplement it, right? Given all of this and knowing that there's so much suffering in the animal industry, as I told you, just a small portion of it, but there's way more of it, don't you think we have the moral obligation to abstain from eating animal products?
Yeah, I think so. But I think it's very hard to make everybody think in a certain way. And it's true, it's not a need, but it's something that makes our life easier. It's really, really hard to make everybody think in a certain way.
Yeah.
So that's why I admire people that make the effort to not eat. But I think, me personally, I think it's impossible to stop eating.
Okay, you think it's impossible for you to stop eating?
For me, no, I can stop eating.
Yeah, yeah.
I can, but that's not gonna change anything.
So when we say I'll tell you also about this, right? But when these kind of hard topics come to our mind, what happens is that we tend to generalize and say everybody's doing it. It's difficult. It's such a large problem, and we tend to absolve our own responsibility on the matter by saying everybody's doing it, right? It's something that our brain inherently does. We don't control it, right? So that's why I talk to people on the street, because I want you to know what's happening, and I want you to know that you have a choice, right? You can make a change. And one person switching to a vegan diet can save up to 100 animals per year, right? So if you were any one of those animals, you would say thank you, right? So there's this part of it, right? So I'm going to ask you, without any judgment whatsoever, I want to have a constructive conversation, and I want your full honesty. What is keeping you from being vegan?
I think the options we get, like in the restaurants, there's also a really small variety of meals. To be honest, those are not the ones that I prefer usually in a restaurant. So there's lack of options, and yeah, it's not that flexible. If I get hungry right now in the street, it's really hard to find something 100% vegan. Starting from that, and also I try to have a balanced diet. Of course, that includes lots of vegetables and bigger stuff, but also a good source of protein. And it's way easier to find protein from meat than from vegetables, even though there are vegetables that provide protein.
Yeah.
And also, well, I think it's also selfish to think that way. But I study biology, and I would like to in the future see how it goes with the artificial meat.
Okay.
I think it will be a great progress.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So what I'm understanding is there's a convenience issue over here, right?
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
have enough options. You
I mean,
don't-
if I knew that if I stop eating meat, the world is gonna stop eating meat and the animals will stop dying, I would stop eating it. But the thing is that if I stop, that's a convenient thing for me, you know.
Yeah.
It's convenient to eat meat because you know it's healthy and it's good. But no, that is not gonna change anything.
But what does what do you think is worth more, like a value, like an animal's life or the convenience? Because it's a hard question to respond, but it's something that at some point you got to ask yourself, right? Because it's true that we live in a world that is non-vegan, right? But I don't know how long have you lived so far in this world, how old you are, but there's a trend that's more and more places have vegan options.
Yeah.
More and more places are vegan, right? So what's happening is the world is changing, right? And the question is, do you want to change along with it, or do you want to be on the other side of the change, right? So that is something that you get to decide which part of the change you want to be, and which one do you want to support? The world that is staying like this, or the world that is changing? And it's obviously with any of these changes, if you're part of the change, it's not going to be the easiest part at first. But just like with everything else, if you find the places, maybe not when you're in a different city like Amsterdam, but Amsterdam, although is full of vegan options, let me just tell you right here. But if you're in your own city, if you're in your own home, you go to a supermarket, you buy sort of the same stuff every time. So when you're vegan, you do sort of the same thing. It just takes a little bit of a change until you find out what works for you, right? So I don't want you to feel like I'm forcing you into anything. I'm just trying to show you that there is possibilities and kind of how the situation is, right? And if convenience wouldn't be such a big issue, right? If you could find out that it wouldn't be so inconvenient to you, maybe it would just be inconvenient to you for a month until you get the gist of it. Would you still be interested? What would incentivize you? And is my question.
Well, we have also part of our family. Are vegans. I know people, but I also see the limitations they got. They can always eat, but they eat just bread or avocado because of the lack of opportunities they get to eat a vegan meal. So I would say the availability has to first change because the world has to adapt. It's either adapt or die.
Yeah.
So that's how it has always been, and I would be open to adapt to the new era.
But do you want to help the world change in that
Yeah,
direction?
Of course.
Does that mean you want to go vegan?
Well,
Right? Because
We'll
that's the
see.
way to help.
we'll see how it develops. I mean, if it keeps getting more and more available for everyone, I even do it right now. Now and then I go to vegan restaurants. I have no problem with it.
Okay.
So yeah,
So let me just put it this way. If you have an option in front of you, right? You're at a restaurant right here. You have obviously any meals that you feel, some of them maybe sound so tasty to you, and then there's a vegan option right there. Maybe there's just one vegan option. It doesn't sound the tastiest to you, but it has the nutrition. It sounds good enough. What would get you to choose that option over the others?
Just the enjoying of the meal. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
but-
not as good. Just that. Literally, just that.
If I were
the
to
end.
tell you that, because I've also been eating meat, right? I was a meat eater, I was a vegetarian, and now I'm a vegan. And I can tell you that the enjoyment of food has not changed at all for me. In fact, I can say that because when I started being on a vegan diet, because of all the constraints that you mentioned, I had to start researching on how to make recipes a little bit different and how to find other foods. So actually my enjoyment has grew because I discovered different types of tastes, different cuisines, it's been a bit better in that way for me. So even if, let's say, enjoyment does not change at all, right? It's just a little bit of a difficult period at first. Does that sort of make you want to go for the vegan option if you go
that's
to a
also
restaurant?
another part. Especially we are travelers. Especially if you want to know a part of meat has been always there, and it's part of the culture. So that's also limiting for getting to know the gastronomy of a country, and especially if you are going to stop eating meat or animal-based products, you get also limitation on eating what they eat in this, for example, here.
But that's culture, because the problem with culture is that, let's say you go to a culture where they eat human beings. There might be some cultures like this. Would you partake in that?
No,
Okay, so you do draw a line. Okay, let me ask you more about this line. Would you eat dogs?
no.
Okay, so what is the difference between a dog and a cow, a pig, or any of this? Because to them, there's like, if you think about it from the outside, they look different, but from the inside, they're fairly similar.
Yeah, you even said that the pig is more intelligent.
Yeah.
It's also because of the cultural thing. The dog has been tamed it's the first animal tamed
Yeah.
in the human history. Maybe that's also a more evolutionary thing. We're more close to animals, but even I know in some places they eat dogs.
Yeah, but you see, you draw the line at culture. You say you cannot experience the country's culture, but also in these places you would not be experiencing the country's culture, right? So you could still experience the culture by going for a vegan food that is part of that culture, but maybe slightly changed, only so that animals don't suffer for that food, right? Because being vegan, by the way, there's several benefits to being vegan, like environmental, even health benefits, right? But the main benefit is that animals don't get to suffer on your behalf. That's the number one best thing about it, right? So that's why I'm here talking about it, and that's why I ask you from the perspective of the animals, because I want you to think more about that perspective. You say you wouldn't eat a dog, yet you would eat a cow or a pig, right? Because if you think from their perspective, if you were a dog or you were a cow, you would be like, why? Okay, if humans eat all animals, you'd say, okay, at least I get it. But why do they eat these animals and not these animals? Why does my life value less than the other, right? Right? That's
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm not. I don't want to be right. I just want to have
yeah.
this.
But honestly, it's just a convenience thing for me. I don't think that me changing to a vegan diet is gonna change anything. I feel like that. I really feel like it's not gonna change anything at all.
Well, there is the result of saving almost 100 animals per year, right?
But I don't know that statistic. I mean,
You can Google it. You don't have to try any of these things that I say. I'm not going to be the third person to say, hey, I'm the right person. No, please Google and fact check everything I say, okay? So, one person going vegan can save up to 100 animals. Let me just explain, let me just tell you, maybe it would make more sense, this number to you, when I ask you how many animals do you think are killed per year? Globally.
I don't know.
There's 8 billion people in the world. How many animals do you think are killed?
A lot.
I don't know.
I study gastronomy, and in Mexico I saw how the animals suffer, and it's a lot of animals that need to die to feed the population of Mexico.
Yeah.
But I don't know. In my point of view, I wouldn't stop eating meat because since I was little, I started to eat that type of food. And till today, I'm so happy. I love the meal, and I don't know. I think I couldn't stop without I don't know if the other people start also to become vegan. I will think it. But I think, well, like in my house, I need to like my parents need to start to be to eat vegan products so I can start, because it's like difficult if I start and my family doesn't. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, I understand the difficulty, but let me ask you this: if your parents, did you say you were a cat or a dog person? I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Sorry,
Did you say you were a cat or a dog person?
cat.
Okay, if your parents say, "Hey, we have a surprise for you today,"
Uh-huh.
and they bring out a cat that's been skinned and boiled and cooked and in the oven and put it on the table, would you consume that?
I don't know. It could be if they don't say me that it's a cat. It happens to
But
me.
if they say that it's a cat, because you know it's a cat,
Could be.
could be. But you see, there is this thing that you say no, right?
Yes.
And that's just the thing that I'm saying, right? Because that means that you also have a line where it doesn't matter what your parents put out for you. You will not just eat everything they put out, right? And regarding that, we do it just because everybody else does it. Do you think is something that you should live your life by? First of all, I'm not judging, but just I don't know how old you are. I'm 36. I lived my life a long time for just because everybody else was living that way, and I can tell you, you're the happiest when you live your life how you want to live your life, and when you make the decisions for what feels right for you, right? So if you, all three of you, do not want to be, or any one of you, if you do not want to be part of this animal fucking, they call it Holocaust because it's there's 80 billion animals slaughtered per year.
80 billion?
80 billion. That's a shit ton of animals, right? That's the only land animals. If you include fish and it goes into the trillions. So if you don't want to be part of this, and if you want to be part of the society that's changing, and if you want to be part of this other stuff, and you feel that may be right for you, then the fact that other people aren't doing it, the fact that it's inconvenient, the fact that, I don't know, it sounds a bit weird, or there's a stigma against vegan people. None of this should stop you, right? Because you should live your own truth. If your own truth says animals deserve to live and we don't have to kill them to eat them, right? Why wouldn't you live up to that, right? That's the whole point. It's just food for thought more than anything, right? So
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. I told you, it's honestly just the convenience part.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. And if I will consider it, but it's as we said. I think it's more a cultural part of it. We were raised like that, and
I get it. I was.
and maybe it's just doing a small effort.
And also keep in mind that you come from Mexico, right? Mexico has this good study about animal agriculture where they say the way that when Mexicans eat, the way they eat meat is not sustainable for Mexico. So the government is trying to entice people to go more vegan. So you would be also helping out your country in that sense. There just
Well,
isn't
yeah,
there just
to be
isn't
honest-
enough land.
Yeah, to be honest, there's more options here than Mexico.
I'm sure.
Here,
yeah.
there's also. I live in Austria.
Yeah.
They also have this chain food of vegan food.
Yeah.
That's why I say I eat now and then vegan food. It's way easier to get in Austria than in Mexico. I think it's not that developed as here. That area.
Yeah, in Mexico it's hard for some people to even afford a vegan diet,
Actually, beans. Vegan diet doesn't necessarily have to mean like mock meat, right? It can just mean beans, tofu, tempeh. all of
Yeah,
these.
but it's usually more expensive.
Usually, it's more the
Right
mock
now.
meats are more expensive, but all the
Currently.
things all the other things are not that expensive. Like meat is nowadays very expensive. I don't know if you.
In Mexico, it's really different in Mexico. Meat is cheaper than in Europe.
Okay, that's because
Europe-
also U.S. and I suspect that Mexico does the same, subsidizes these industries. I don't know if you're aware. For example, in U.S., like 50% of the price for the meat is paid by the government. So if you pay $10 for meat, the government pays another 10. So
Yeah, I didn't
when you
know
pay taxes,
Yeah, that
you
happens,
also.
but only with national meat. If you get from
No, they support all of the animal agriculture. They because it's a whole history behind it. I won't get into it. You can look
Yeah,
into
yeah.
that. It's a very interesting why they do that. It's a whole about regarding the war. But I'm gonna give you guys a card. Do you all live together or should I?
no, we live separately.
Okay, I'm gonna give you then 3 cards. I ask you to not throw them away because I'm not in the business of just handing out cards for people to just throw away. So here's one for you, and one for you.
thank you.
So what you have right here is even have my code. Let me give you one without the code that I wrote down. So what you have on this website, if you go, it's called 3 movies that we the free. Some people read it as what the fuck, doesn't matter. I sometimes do activism with this organization. I'm not part of them right now. I just have some of their cards and I use them to hand out to public sometimes. So what you have there, if you go to that website, you have resources on how to be vegan, including in any country that you live in. You can select there. Besides resources on how to be vegan, you have a thing called Challenge 22, which is if you subscribe to it, it will send you recipes every day on how to be vegan. And also on that website, all of it is free, by the way, and also on that website you have personalized help in case you're having difficulty being vegan. Somebody will log in with you online and tell you, hey, let me help you out, what's this difficulty and all of this. And you also have footage from the animal industry to find out what's happening. So all of this, and I strongly urge you to look into it. You can take your time as much as you want. Just know that while you're taking your time, while you're consuming animal products, 3 times per day when you make this choice, right? And every time you make this choice, one animal will go to the slaughterhouse on your behalf. And you would rather talk to animals, right? How would you explain it to them that it's just inconvenient? I'm sorry, I just have to send you to the slaughterhouse, right? It's just inconvenient to me.
Cool. Okay.
You're from
Thank you.
you're from Amsterdam?
I'm from Romania actually, but I live in Amsterdam. Yeah.
We have to go to the museum. But thank you very much. It was a really
Hey, thank you for
interesting-
being open-minded
Congrats
and
on your
And
way
it
of
was a
spreading
really
your
interesting-
idea.
yeah. I hope you get to look more into it and be more open to the idea and even go for it. Like if you are against like being vegan doesn't mean anything else other than being against animal abuse, animal cruelty, and acting on it. That's all it is. And that unfortunately means not consuming animal products. No vegans say meat doesn't taste good. No vegans say meat isn't convenient. We all know that it tastes good and it's convenient, but we just abstain it for the animals. We do it for them, So that's all it is.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much. Have a
Ciao.
good one. Yeah.
Bye.
Ciao. Have a good one.